Oh, okay.
No bonus is charged and anything else charged my phone.
You're officially live. Okay. And then. Make both of the other.
Here,
No. I'll take it off of Lawrence.
Lawrence, yeah.
Okay.
Ready to go?
Oh, Sam, I'll blame her.
Yeah.
What?
Nothing.
Nothing.
You better watch yourself.
Good morning, everybody. It is 9 o'clock. We will start. The meeting is April 6, 2026, 9 a.m. And this is the public hearing library building. And at this time, I shall open the floor to comments. Good morning, Lauren.
Good morning, Lauren.
Any discussion and comments? Well, if you would, you could come take that to give us a.
Can I make a suggestion?
Absolutely.
Since we're gonna have a bunch of people in here, can we make sure everybody's phone is on silent so we don't have any disruptions?
Yes.
Good point.
I think we should start requesting that at every meeting because every once in a while somebody's phone does go off.
Morning, Rod.
Morning, Ryan. Hey, how? Hey, what? Hey, it's coming. I'm Scott. Nice to meet you. I've heard about them.
I've seen them at these meetings
Yes,
once or
yes, I know.
twice.
Okay, so at the last meeting, you guys asked me for some numbers. You asked for blueprints, and those things take time. So we are working through those items. We're working with a local contractor, and he's working with Carrington Lumber to work on blueprints. And so before we get that, the bank, of course, can't give us hard numbers either. So I would like to be able to stay on the agenda for the next meeting, which would be in 2 weeks, I'm presuming, and hope that we would have more firm numbers, by then. So did you have any other questions or concerns that came up? Because I know, Stephanie, you attended the library's public meeting, which I really appreciated.
You're welcome.
I guess Scott attended the city one.
That was
great.
there, yeah.
Yeah. Were there any other things that you guys thought of, or?
What's that? Do you know what all of that they're getting numbers for? Are they just getting numbers on construction or are they getting numbers on everything? The HVAC, the electrical, the
Everything.
plumbing? Okay, good.
Everything. So the first step, of course, is blueprints.
Yep.
Where are we putting things,
Yeah.
what needs to be updated? What does code say? What does ADA compliance say? So we're working on the blueprint of the building. And then from there, we're gonna start breaking it down into those more linear items of ADA compliance and how many outlets do we need in our meeting rooms and things like that.
And the job of the commission
Yes.
is to to vote on whether to put a bid in or whether to,
No, all we need from the county commissioners is saying that you approve us to purchase a building that is appropriate. That's what
Okay.
Century Code says. So we're not asking for more money. We're not asking for our levies to be increased. We're to the top of what we can get without going and having it voted upon again. And even then, Samantha, correct me if I was wrong, it was a 3% increase.
You're good.
But
okay. Anybody from the public have comments for us? Any amazing testimonies? Any good stories?
I will say something. When she talked the other day and said since 1980, I started work at the library in 1980. And Marge and Amy said, we need more room. And that's been a problem ever since. I mean, we really do need the room because there's not, I used to sit in this little corner with the table and type. And then there'd be a meeting at the office and I'd have to roll my table out in the other room and sit out there because, so yeah, it's always needed room. We always thought, well, if Paul Hagen would sell, we could move that way. But of course, he sold somebody else. I can say the library has always needed. And there's a few of these younger people that came in when they were like this high. That's a long time ago, you know, I'm an old lady.
I remember going in the eighties, so yep,
Yep.
I was one of them. I mean, I wasn't born yet in 1980. is what I'm trying to say. Mhm.
Telling yourself that.
Well, it was over 25 years that I worked there, so, you know, you all remember Bonnie, I'm sure, because she
Yeah.
was the last one, but
Yep.
she took my place driving bookmobile,
Mhm.
and then she took the place, when Mickey quit, she took that, you know, as director, and then she called me and she says, you've got to come back to work, because in 92, I quit. When I turned 50, I thought, nothing happened in 40, I'll make something happen in 50. And so I quit. Well, she had me back to work within 4 years. So,
Oh, that's a fun story. That's really fun.
it's wild. I mean, it really is
What is your question?
weird.
If we were to take it to be voted on, what was the increase if we were to?
I come down there, not often. I had childcare 30 years ago. And I would march my 9, 10 kids down there for story hours and activities and stuff like that. And now I do it with my grandchildren. And there's just not much room. You get a story hour there and the back is full of kids. They're running, crushing into each other, not running, excuse me. But it's very crowded when she has activities, and it's wonderful that she has activities for little kids, for toddlers, for school age kids, before, after school, adults. I love that she brings in outside knowledge with people coming from books or stories about the community, about the state. She covers all gambits for people, and part of my activities, my lifestyle. I go down, check every week what's going on this week, or they publish in the newspaper, and they also give out things for monthly. So you can plan things with your children or yourselves. I also work with special needs, and they have lots of activities for that people can attend and be part of the community. Really appreciate her. Or the library. Her too.
Both, both.
All the people that work there are just wonderful help. I also go in there for
Tech support.
tech support, that's the word.
In the levy limitations, the library and the reading room, it is not called the bookmobile anymore. It is called the reading room, and they are able to get 4 meals, or as increased by 60% majority vote of the electors. And they currently get their 4 meals.
And in the preliminary number crunching that you have done, the library will be able to afford taking out a loan. That's the goal, is to take out a loan to purchase it,
So-
and grants and.
So the goal is to purchase the building with library funds that we have been setting aside, as well as possible funds coming from the municipal. So they are not willing to give us a yes or no until we have your approval. They're not willing to take it any further. Initial conversations I've had,
Mhm.
and they have voiced that they want to support this.
Mhm.
And so then getting a loan through the banks to bridge the time between getting grant funding to come in, fundraising funds to come in, things of that nature.
You said during I'm sorry,
Mhm.
we both said something. You said during the library meeting,
Mhm.
how there are grants out there
Mhm.
for the inside work.
Yes.
Will you I know we're all public here, but.
Yep. So there's grants available to do projects, to update your current area or to renovate an area, not to purchase a building. So when we come time to designing our children's department, right, those aren't really Harrington Lumber blueprint items. Those are more of a, what are our hopes and dreams for our children's department? Those aren't things that are gonna be figured into those blueprints. They're not construction. They're like Grand Forks Library has a slide. We're not gonna have a slide, of course, but it would be cool if we could have something fun for kids to play on when they're there. And those are those kinds of things that we can purchase with a grant. Paint for walls to make the space fun and welcoming. Those are the types of things that we can spend grant money on, renovating the space. Even like new shelving. A lot of libraries are moving to facing out rather than traditional shelving of books. It's more engaging and draws people in.
How much would double the floor space for you?
It would double the floor space.
And then you can separate absolutely everything you need to and have all your stuff for the kids and everything too, right?
Yes, yes. So like, Mayor Paintner came in and visited with me the other day on this. And as he's walking through, he's stepping over coats and boots and backpacks and because there were 8 kids in there using the computers and getting homework help and just having a space to hang out and be kids. So it is difficult because our computers where they're located are right next to the door. There's no space for them to store their backpacks and coats when we have programs going on in the back. So they kind of just get dumped. And so in this space, we're seeing a little bit more room, room for kids to be kids, room for safety so that they can hang up their coats so that when people are walking in, they aren't tripping over coats and backpack straps.
So the traditional library has really advanced and
Really
offers some more services than just books, because it's 2026 and we now have tablets to read from. So
Yes.
it's,
Books will always be a library's bread and butter, but we're so much more than that now.
yeah,
Mhm.
like you said, activities.
Mhm.
It's activities for everybody of all ages throughout the week.
Yeah.
Some things we forget about that.
Yes.
I don't know, I'd like to see, if the city would make a commitment, I wouldn't have any problem.
The city has approved.
The city already approved.
Mhm.
And I don't, personally, then I don't see much, if we can make it work.
Mhm. And so again, like we do have people who have discussed, donating money, like the municipal, there's funds like through the Cooperstown Community Foundation, the North Dakota Community Foundation, the Thrift Store Board, has already kind of voiced some, interest in helping furnish the children's department, things like that. So it's not like we're just going to be begging for money, not to say that we won't be doing fundraising and a little bit of begging. But looking at our future, we think that this is what's best for Griggs County.
And then you guys will be actively, so like, let's say we approve all this, you guys will be actively out there doing what you can to get donations and fundraising.
Yes,
Okay,
yes. And so like our friends, we're very, very active. We are a very, very supportive group of friends. That's a 501c3 group. And then COVID kind of hit and a lot of our people aged out and just didn't show any interest. And so in the last year, we have been building our friends group back up, really working on trying to get volunteers in to help with that. And like even now, outside of this building project, they have been doing, there's a raffle going right now. Like they are building that back up and working on bringing more funds in. Mhm.
Well, if the bank thinks it's feasible, I don't,
What,
I mean, it's,
yeah,
they don't give out money without looking into it.
I guess my point is, I'm afraid that you start the project and you need to run out of money. You follow me? Because it's not gonna be cheap when you get done with this. But I just, the numbers hopefully will balance out that you can justify,
Mhm.
you follow my point in that.
Yes.
So we can just it's a nice, but we make sure we can get the back end to get it done, you know, I just hate to see a project halfway done and it sits. That's what
Mhm.
worries me, you know,
Mhm.
so. That's, you know,
It's very easy to go over. trust me.
yeah, yeah, you know all about that, Josh.
I deal with this stuff all the time and I see every budgeted contract always goes over, something always gets missed.
Mhm.
Stuff like that, or if something gets changed, there's always change orders, stuff can cost more money. But you get the right contractors, you meet the right people, get the right people in there, you can come under budget too. So
Yes. And so that's why we didn't want to come with just some
Guess-
made up number to you guys today and are asking for, more time because we don't have those numbers ready yet. We are trying to make sure that we are,
You think 2 more weeks should be enough, you think?
I don't know. Carrington, I will tell you, this is completely out of my wheelhouse. Books, yes. Ask me anything about books or Griggs County history and I can find it. This is completely out of my wheelhouse, so you don't know what you don't know until you realize you don't know it. So Carrington Lumber, Rick is coming down tomorrow and he's gonna actually view the building because the first blueprints were a little bit off. And so he wants to actually see the building in person. And then we're hoping that we can kind of bridge that gap. So once he's there, he's gonna bring his computer and just kind of move the pieces around and get it where we want. And then we're hoping then to be able to send it out to different vendors, HVAC and electrical and get those numbers. But that all takes time. And then we're also at the mercy of, these electricians and floor layers and so on and so on. So,
Well, if you can't come in 2 weeks, you can call Samantha and you can set it up for,
Yep. I mean, we'll work with you, whatever works
Yeah.
out for you.
for another
Yeah.
2 weeks. I mean, just,
So
mhm.
it isn't,
we just want
I-
100%, get an idea, because we don't want you to get screwed on your end.
Yeah.
And two, it can turn into a real dicey situation, because you can get halfway through a project, run out of money, and then you run into a lot of issues that way.
Yes,
And I'm not saying that's gonna happen.
no,
We just don't want you to get hurt like that. That's what it is.
right, right. I can understand that. Mhm.
So that's why we would just be nice to say, hey, as long as you have full numbers, you have the budget to do it, no problem. So
Yeah.
we just want dot all the i's and t's and all that
Yes.
stuff. I mean,
Yes.
it gets very technical. And if you got any questions on building stuff, whatever, you guys can always call me and I can try and help answer questions too.
Well, thanks. Appreciate that.
we can set it up for 2 weeks, but if it isn't feasible or you don't have the numbers yet, just call Samantha and we'll take it off the agenda or put it on the next one.
Okay.
We'd rather have the numbers than that you're satisfied with or we're satisfied with.
Yes.
Any other comments around the area?
Brianne Meyer is here representing the North Dakota State Library, so she needs to.
So we are in support of the proposed purchase and renovation of the building being considered. State Library strongly supports this project because it represents a meaningful investment in the long-term educational, cultural, and economic health of your community. Public libraries are essential institutions in communities across our state. They advance literacy, promote digital inclusion, support workforce and small business development, and serve as welcoming spaces where residents of all ages can learn, connect, and thrive. Public libraries across our state play an essential role in advancing literacy, supporting workforce and economic development, promoting digital inclusion, and serving as trusted community gathering spaces. The State Library strongly supports local investments that enhance these functions. The proposed building offers the Griggs County Public Library the space and flexibility needed to meet modern service demands and to plan responsibly for future growth. State Librarian Mary Susie had the opportunity to tour the proposed space when she visited recently. Lexi and she discussed several different design options for the space. Doubling the existing space of the library will allow the library to expand, improve access to resources, and to create multifunctional areas for programming, technology access, youth engagement, and community collaboration. She appreciated the opportunity to hear the support of the community members that attended the library board hearing while she was in town. State Librarian Susie commends the library board with the support of the city and county for considering this important investment. The benefits of a strong library extend far beyond the walls of the building, supporting students, job seekers, small businesses, families, and older adults. A renewed and expanded library facility will be a lasting asset for your community and will further the mission we share to ensure that every resident has access to high-quality library services. The State Library fully supports the proposed purchase and renovation and encourages your approval of this project. Thank you for your leadership and for your continued commitment to the vitality and well-being of your community.
Thank you.
You have any funds available?
No,
Well,
We do offer grants for certain things, that
Well,
I
that's all-
believe
yeah.
they have applied for. in the
Okay,
past,
that's all
and-
I'm having.
Yeah.
Do you have also too, and I'm sure you're doing your homework on this, don't you? Do you have like other stuff, like a list of stuff for her that, for grants and everything that she can apply for? Or have you been working with her just to make sure all that information is given to her too?
We do have information and
Mhm.
we gladly provide
yes.
Okay.
any and all support.
Okay. I mean, I'm not saying you're
Different-
not good. I just want to make sure that you can have access to every
Mhm.
possible grant. that you
Yes.
can try help
And
with.
different people at the state library handle different things. And so I've been working with Monica, she's our public library specialist, as well as with the grants coordinator, working through those things. But until we get a plan, we can't apply for grants. We have to have a building. You can't spend the money before you have the grant, all those things. The state library does have a grant. Actually, my library board doesn't even know this, but we just got approved for a $5,000 grant to improve our makerspace, which is fantastic. So we'll be getting like a 3D printer and an updated Cricut. But again, we still don't have the space to utilize these items to their full capacity. And so there is another grant that is opening through the state library. Again, we can't use that money to buy a building, but we can use that money with the thought process that we're going to be purchasing items long-term to be put into the new library. And those grants are up to $10,000 right now. So that's just through the state library. So those are a little bit less competitive than, say, a grant through the American Library Association, because they're just for libraries in North Dakota. So
Tell us about that night of the meeting in the library. You were telling us about the walkthrough you and Susie did
mhm.
together. Tell us about the building in itself. That's-
So the building is very full right now. There's lots of old shelving in there. There's lots of bits and pieces of parts, some machinery in the back. And so when we visited with Amy Friddle, she said it could go either way. Either they could leave it in there or they'll just get a dumpster and clean everything out. With talking with Mary, her and I kind of thought, this is not speaking for the board. So it's not a final say. I just want to preface that. But we think that the best option is to have them clean it out, because we feel like we are going to be asking our volunteers in our community to help with enough other items, like trekking across 24,000 books. That's a big job. So if they will clear that out and it doesn't affect us cost-wise, then that is what we thought would be probably best. So it is, once it's cleared out, it's just going to be a big shell, an empty shell. There is a wall that divides, but it's not weight bearing. It's just metal flashing that's just hung up to divide the two spaces. And so we're seeing that taken down, and the ramp platform, there's a platform in the back for air tanks, that being taken out, and we're seeing a kitchen being put in so that we can teach canning class. Well, I can't teach canning classes, but NDSU can come and teach canning classes. And we had like a sourdough person come, but then, it didn't really work out very good because we don't have a kitchen. So seeing those types of classes being able to be offered to our community, dedicated space to the children so that they can come and they can be kids and also dedicated space for teens. Mary kind of said it best when she was visiting and was like, you got like a little old man come in and he's talking really loud, and it's like, oh, you know, kind of like, oh, he's deaf, and just kind of laugh it off. And you got a little kid and they're loud and they're running around and being obnoxious, and you're like, oh, it's just a little kid being a little kid. But then you've got like a 12-year-old who's being loud, and you're like, what is wrong with these kids? Like, they need to settle down. It's like, they're just being kids, just being themselves. And when they are leaving school and then they're coming right to the library, they don't really have an outlet to get that out. You know, so they are sometimes loud. They are boisterous, but it's not a bad thing. You just gotta, I don't know, have the space for it. And currently we don't have the space for it. So it is becoming a hindrance, and we are getting some complaints. And we don't want that. We want to be able to serve all of Griggs County's population. These 12-year-olds are our future.
If you think about, you know, with the health of the community and whatnot being included, you know, there's been a $250 million grant for just been granted to North Dakota for people's eating habits. I'll put it that way. Start teaching how to buy food at a not the most expensive thing in the store, but nutrition food, getting away from chips and starting eating fruit. But there is available. I don't know if it would come into Griggs County through the, you know, but it would be a spot for you to check out.
Yeah, there's a lot of new grants coming through,
Yeah.
but yeah.
And that one was just granted to North Dakota now, just within the last couple of weeks.
And another thing about when Lexi's talking about kids coming in after school, the after school program at the school is full. So they can't take anymore. So these are kids that can't get into the program, and sometimes they're the latchkey kids that don't have any other place to go until their parents are done with work. You know, the program at school is full to take them extra kids, so. Or their parents that can't afford to pay the price of the after-school program at school. And it's a safe place for those kids to be able to go and know that they are safe.
It is quite exciting.
It is very exciting. Like I said, you don't know what you don't know until you realize it. So there are lots of things, and I really appreciate your guys' time, you know, and I just want you to know we are doing our due diligence. We are working through these things, but if you've ever done a building project, it's a lot more than just calling somebody up and saying, this is what I want. There's a lot more facets to it, and
A lot of detail involved is what it
a
is.
lot of detail involved, especially when it's not a personal project. You're now looking at, you know, something that's a government subsidy, and so then,
Well,
you
it's
know,
a public space too, so you got
it's
a
a
lot of,
public-
you got
yeah.
a lot of rules and regulations you have to follow.
yes. But like even currently, like our shelving is less than 2 feet apart. So when I have somebody that I've hired, the very first thing that I teach them is if you're showing somebody where something is on the shelf, you go down first and then follow them down, like send the patron down. Because otherwise you're like trying to shuffle out, like there's not enough space. They're so tight in there.
Well, that's a trip
It's-
hazard and a fire hazard.
It is. With this new space, we would be able to have the 36 inches that would make us be ADA compliant. You know, people can't come in our front door if they're in a wheelchair. It's just impossible with that cranking and turning around those corners and those big heavy doors. So this opens up a lot of opportunity for space, but also to be more available, more accessible to Griggs County community.
Yeah.
So,
If you need somebody for a grant, that grant money, I know the person you can contact.
okay. Yeah, sure. Thanks.
Okay, I think, well, that concludes our half an hour. So I appreciate everything.
Yes.
If you would, did you want to stay? Should she set the
I
stay?
do have you on the agenda for the actual regular meeting,
Mhm.
so.
Yeah, will you stay for that? And then
Sure, I
we
will.
can- Perfect.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. If you want to stay for the regular meeting, you sure can.
I gotta make a
We need
motion
to
for
separate
this one.
these.
You have the motion to
Yes.
adjourn, I wonder? Yeah, motion,
Oh, yes. I've been looking for a motion to adjourn.
I'll do that.
I'll second it.
Motion by Scott, second by Rod. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any other discussion? Barring none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Perfect. Motion
Okay, so
passed.
now I'm gonna stop